What's going on, guys? So today we're talking about copper on knives. This one is an artisan cutlery knife. I want to say this is called the Archeo. Hopefully I'm not butchering the name, but probably am. But yeah, interesting little knife. I just got this in a partial trade. I'm not quite back into trading yet. I was actually selling something. This was just an addition to make up for value. When I do get back into trading, I will make an announcement video. I know a lot of people have been, sending messages about stuff like that. So pretty soon. But anyway, yeah, it's not so much about this knife, although I will say that I like everything about this knife except for the fact that this pocket clip sticks out. So it kind of digs in my hand a little bit, at least for my size hands. But anyway, the topic is on copper. Okay, this is the copper edition of this knife. And copper as well as brass have both been very popular, I would say, at least in the last year. I know a lot of people like to do combinations for their EDC, so you have like a copper knife, copper scales. It could be something like this that's sold as copper, or it could be aftermarket scales like Flitanium or something. See a lot of people do those where they're customizing knives they already like and carry. They're just throwing copper and brass scales on those. As well as, all the rest of the stuff in your whole system, your whole EDC, so you got the copper scales, copper lanyard bead hanging off of there, copper flashlight, copper pen, and so on. And it just looks cool. It looks cool for all the Instagram shots and everything like that. And of course, if you're just into the look of it, you do it on everything. But my question is, how many people out there do this? And why? Why do you like to have that copper on there? I think it's cool. I got into it because it was different. I don't know how long, I do see this as a fad. I think, a year or 2 years or 5 years from now, you're not gonna see a lot of that at all anymore. That's just personal opinion. I could be totally wrong. This could be something in the last 20 years, could be a thing forever. Don't really know. But one thing I have noticed is it adds so much weight. Okay, a lot of times, these different knife companies are doing a lot of synthetics, G10, carbon fiber, canvas micarta. They've been doing that for years, and it keeps knives light. When you go back to having a slab of copper on there or brass, obviously it's going to add weight to it. So the first impression on this knife is that's really cool. It's kind of heavy for its size, and that's obviously what it is. It's two thick slabs of copper. One thing I do like a lot, and I think a lot of people get into this too, is just the patina that you get with both copper and brass. This one already has a patina on it from the previous owner, and it's beautiful. It really, really does look nice. So I get that. It just looks cool. It's kind of a new thing. Again, that's why I liked it, because knives were black. Cool tactical knives were black. And black is cool, and I still love a black knife. But at some point, after having so many of them and seeing one knife after another, even though they're totally different designs, it's just black handle, satin blade, black handle, stonewash blade, or whatever. They all blend together to me. So the whole color thing was very cool as well. And I would say that also happened in recent years, where you're seeing a lot of knives that are offered in, blue and red and pink and yellow and orange and all these different colors. And it just, I don't know, it just sets things apart. It makes things different. I do like when companies will offer a production knife and it has a couple different color options, so you're like, oh, it's a really cool knife, but hey, I really like it in red, or I really like it in that brown color or whatever, or tan. So I like that there's so much more variety these days than very early on when I started to get into knives. Now, stainless steel knives have always been a thing, and they've always been heavy, obviously. When you have an all metal knife, it's heavy. The one addition you do get, with copper scales or brass scales, is that it's all metal. Now, the positive to that is that it feels robust. It's just, there's something about having that extra weight, knowing that your knife is all metal. It just seems strong, all right? Whether it is or not, doesn't really matter. It just seems like really strong, tough, heavy duty. It's all metal, right? Plastic breaks, metal doesn't. As we know, modern day plastics on knives, they don't really break. I haven't seen any problem with any of that. But there's that. The negative part of that, which doesn't matter right now, at least where I live in Pennsylvania, is the weather. When you have an all metal knife, whether it's stainless steel or titanium or copper or brass or aluminum, it retains the cold. Okay, so in the wintertime, if you don't have gloves on and you have your knife clipped to your pocket and you're outside for 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever, your knife gets cold and it retains that cold. So when you go to grab it and you use it, it's uncomfortable. That's one negative I've always said about, you know, all metal knives, regardless of what kind of metal. You know, so there's certainly pros and cons to having an all metal knife, but I just want to do a video like this because I'm just curious. I want to see your feedback. How many people are really into the copper thing, the copper theme? How many people are into the brass, you know, theme? And what do you think? Do you think it's a fad? Do you think that next year no one's going to care about this kind of stuff? Or do you think it's something that's lasting, that people are going to do for a very long time? I just think it was so new and so cool. Again, really the patina aspect of it. You know, it's almost like a, you know, something to look forward to. You get a knife and it's nice and it's shiny copper. That's something else I want to know. If you guys do have these copper and brass knives, do you keep them polished? Do you use them and then at the end of the day polish them up? I want to say probably not. I think more people than not, if not everyone, just likes the idea of it kind of breaking in and looking worn. That's part of the whole aspect of it, in my opinion. That's what I liked about it a lot, was when you do get like copper scales, it's like something to look forward to. You got your brand new knife, it's copper, you're using the thing. Maybe you're forcing a patina on purpose. Maybe you're just waiting for it to naturally, you know, form, but every day, day in and day out, you're touching it and, you know, you're looking at it and it's like, oh, it's getting dark, it's cool. That's part of the whole thing. Is that something you guys enjoy about it? Something to remember, if you've never had a copper knife, just keep this in mind. Most people in the world have had some kind of copper coinage. You know, in America, we have copper pennies, at least partially copper. At some point, it was all copper. But when you touch this and rub this and you smell your hands, yep, smells like I've been handling a bunch of change. So that's something you may like or not like. Okay, that's something to consider if you've never had a copper knife or a brass knife. You know, it does. It has a smell. You know. So just interesting. It's really cool. Like I said, I can still dig it, but I'm kind of like, so this is how I can explain my experience with this, is like almost like a chart. I consider this to be a fad hump, right? So someone started putting copper on knives, copper scales, you're like, whoa, never thought of that. That's pretty cool. I want one. And then the interest grows, and all of a sudden all your buddies, all your friends, everyone you see on the internet has them. Now I really want them. Now here's where it peaks. Here's where everyone's got to have them. Then everyone has them. And then it starts going down, or the interest, right? Been there, done that. So, wow, what's that? Really, really want it. Gotta have it. Okay, been there, done that. So I'm on the tail end here where I've had multiple knives now with copper scales. I've had, I want to say at least one, maybe two with brass scales. I can't remember exactly which ones, but more so copper than brass, I think. That's where a lot of the focus is. And like, yeah, it was cool, but I kind of feel like that. Been there, done that. So I'm not like actively looking for copper scale knives anymore. Although I know plenty of people who are, plenty of people who it's still kind of new to them and it's cool and they like it. And that's great. There is pros and cons to everything. Like I said, I mean, the cons here, obviously it adds weight to the knife overall. So if weight is an issue, if you carry a bunch of gear, that's obviously not something you want to get into. You probably want to stick with synthetics, as well as, you know, the retaining of cold in the cold weather. Also, I mean, although rare, if you happen to leave your knife out in the sun, you have the adverse effect where it just gets hot and you don't want to really hold on to it because it's really hot. But more times than not, it's in your pocket, so you don't have to worry about heat. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, the positives, it's cool, it's different, it's unique. If you're not a knife person, right, and you have a copper knife, that's unique. If you show most people who aren't knife people, they're going to go, wow, that's really interesting and different, right? It's special, and that's really cool. So that's a positive. You know, obviously, I'm going to say strength and durability. I mean, copper is a soft metal, but overall, it's less likely, I think, to crack in any kind of condition, you know, than obviously a plastic. Although, as we talked about before, all modern day synthetic materials, G10, carbon fiber, micarta, I mean, it goes across the board. They're all very, very durable. And I'll always kind of enjoy it, but like I said, I'm not actively seeking it out anymore. You know, been there, done that. That's the feeling I have when it comes to this kind of stuff. But I want your opinions, you know. That's why I'm making the video, to hear what everyone else has to say about this stuff. Are you brand new to it? Or, you know, did you never know that there was copper scales and now you're watching the video going, I gotta have one? Or have you had multiple and just kind of are over it now? Are you continuously, you know, using these and collecting these? I mean, from a collectible standpoint, I think they're really cool. You know, I think everyone should have one copper knife in their collection just because it's different. But yeah, just kind of curious on your thoughts on copper scales specifically, but you know, in general brass as well. I just think that copper is much more popular than the brass stuff. But yeah, there's plenty of people collecting both. And then before this, don't forget titanium. Titanium, titanium, titanium. Now, titanium is not a fad to me. I remember when it kind of first hit the market, where all of a sudden you were seeing a lot of different knives that were in titanium. Like titanium frame locks were the thing, and still are the thing for the most part, right? Because it works. It's practical as a metal. Copper and brass, not as much. More decorative, more cool. The patina thing's awesome. But I think titanium's here to stay. Unfortunately, I think personally that brass and copper are just the fad. But you let me know what you think. So post your comments down below. Hopefully, guys, have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.